message out, so thanks so much. I'm a mental health care manager. I'm a nurse with Holland Hospital, but I'm a mental health care manager, and so I work with just a ton of high school and middle school students, and they're all struggling with mental health issues. So there were some things that you guys said and I had questions about. So the first one was for Lexi. Yeah, you really hit home, like with the pressures. And I find it very interesting. I'm a camp nurse too, so I will go to places all over the country and I work with staff from all over the world. And I was like really surprised because most kids in the rest of the world, they don't go to college after high school. So what they do is they do a lot of traveling, they do a lot of jobs, because they said what you said. I don't know what I want to do. I'm 17 years old, right? And that's why they work at camps a lot, is because it's free food, it's free lodging, you get great work experience, they get enough money so they can move on to the next camp. And they travel all over the world and meet so many people. So I just have to say, give yourself a break if you don't know what you want to do. I didn't know I wanted to be a nurse until I was 23 years old. So I just worked until then, and then I figured it out. So I just want to say to high schoolers, give yourself a break. If you're not ready for college right away, it's okay to get some life experience too. The other thing that I wanted to ask from Barbie, you had said, could it have been prevented? And I want you to think back, because it sounds like your family and like your neighbors kind of really tried to educate you guys on how to do that. Going through that, is there any suggestions that you would have for us to talk with our children, our grandchildren, students that I work with, anything about what could you have said or explained that maybe would have empowered me more, or helped me to recognize maybe somebody that was going to do that to me?
I'd probably say the only thing you could do is pay attention to the people that are close to them, like not necessarily just male like relatives and stuff, but who's around them the most and who possibly is alone with them that could possibly do something like that, because I think that's the only way you can.
So just asking questions. How's everything going? How do you feel about this person? Are they good to you? Are they?
Making sure that they're comfortable
Yes.
around them.
Okay. All right. Thank you for letting me know that. And Nick, too, I just had a comment for you. Like, you are so much way deeper than I was when I was in high school. I was like, wow, this kid is really like some of the glimmers into what you were figuring out for yourself, so mature. I know adults that can't even figure that stuff out. So yeah, it was just really amazing to see how you were able to kind of start to disseminate that information and kind of what is real from what is not real. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. And I think a lot of people struggle with social media. I don't do social media just because I found myself like on Instagram for like an hour. Going, I'm 56 years old. I'm like, I don't have time for Instagram. My life's 2/3 of the way done probably. I gotta do something better with my time. So, but what you were talking about with that, yeah, I was really stunned at like how you were able to kind of figure that out and notice that for yourself. So thanks for that.
Yeah, thank you.
And then Madison, well, I don't even know what to say about it. I had a near, I think, experience with a student that I felt strongly was trying to be sex trafficked. And thankfully, Madison, she had like these supports in school, and we're like all really, like we don't trust anybody, right? I mean, that's just, it's not that we don't trust anybody, but after experience, you learn to just be really respectful of people, and it paid off for us, because I really feel like we did save that child from getting trafficked in California. thank you for telling us your story. I'm so sorry that that happened to you. But I'm really glad that you're like feeling like you're empowering yourself. So that's so good to see too. Yeah.
Thank you.
And then, okay, so is it Eliana, right? Yeah. So I want to ask you a little bit about the friends and families with the sexual assaults that you had mentioned, the friends and the families. And so I, you are not alone. Like I run into a lot of kids that are going through this and that are just starting to come out maybe years later. And so just wondering like, for somebody that is working with kids like that, what is the most supportive way that we can, show that there's no shame and that you can share with us and that we do feel your pain and to just be comfortable with us. Is there anything that anybody has ever done for you that made you feel like it's okay for me to share and this isn't my fault and maybe this might help somebody else? Did you have an adult in your life that you really felt comfortable sharing with? And why was that?
My therapist, her name is Stephanie. We met my first suicide attempt, so even before she worked at the Lighthouse program. She kind of just told me it wasn't my fault, even though it was close family and I haven't spoken up for it for 9 years. And I don't know, she kind of just made me feel like it wasn't my fault and that I had to find a way to get through it. And I'm just now coming to realization that it's not my fault. So, I don't know.
So it's just that one person that really just put you at ease and did she talk a lot? Did she just listen more? What do you think it was about her? Because we do have a lot of kids and they want to share, I can tell, but it's difficult for them.
I kind of feel like she was the only one who didn't right away try to prescribe me with a mental illness.
Okay.
Because like everybody else would try to give me a prescription and be like, well, this is what you have and you need to take this.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of more listened to what I was going through before trying to prescribe me with anything.
Okay, yeah. I do find that too, like in my job, everybody likes to put a label.
Mhm.
Well, this is just normal human emotion and normal human reaction. You know what I mean? That doesn't have to have a label on it, it's just that. And Tori, same thing, you just wrapped everything up like really nicely, like to just share that story and I that just takes so much bravery. And I just wanna let you know that I really appreciated that you and everybody else was just willing to share with us. It was, yeah, really eye-opening. And so Tori, if there's anything that you can, impart to us about like how we can better help you guys when you're really struggling. I'll tell you what, I do work with kids. And Tori like said it perfectly, like, it gets to a point where you just give up and then you just start doing your own thing. And other people perceive that as rebellion and they don't get along with anybody and they hate everybody. But it really is born out of pain, and so is there anything that you can impart that would like let us kind of know maybe what to say about somebody who comes in with a really like, fight attitude, and you just want to let them know you care, but trying to break those walls down before you can really get kids the help they need.
Honestly, I think that parents or guardians or aunts and uncles should just take the time out their day to listen to what their nieces or nephews or daughters or granddaughters have to say or sons have to say about stuff, because like I find that there's a lot of parents nowadays that aren't caring about like what they're like they select they selective listening. Like it goes in one ear and out the other, and I feel like they just take parts of the sentence and really like just focus on that instead of listening to the whole thing. I feel like my mom personally, I felt like she could have done better and learned a lesson in jail instead of coming out just to smoke. Like that kind of made me really disappointed in her. I feel like parents should always learn a lesson just like children do. Like I'm in here to learn a lesson. I learned my lesson and I don't want to get locked up again. And my mom, she just did it for the fast one. I feel like if you give your sons or daughters advice, I feel like you should take your own advice.
Yeah, good advice, yeah. Okay, well, thank you. I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Other questions? Okay, we're continuing the conversation. What's going to happen now is our panelists are going to go to different tables. So they're going to join you. You'll probably end up with a teenager at your table. And then we'll have a conversation at the table and then with the whole group. So if you young people would please gravitate toward a table, that would be perfect.